Alright, Gilbert again with the Emoji Lock and Key. This is my first Sterling that I'm making a key for, and the book said H51 for an ignition key, H50 for a door key. Customer said key should be the same. Well, it's not on the column. It's right here like most semis or trucks like that. And it's kind of loose, but my key will only fit, well, it fits two ways. At one point it was only fitting one way, but it looks like a pin tumbler. I can see the pins in there, so the pins are at the top. I cleaned off my edge, so I made it real blemish free with the number 2. I don't know where the hell my number 4 went. Continue to look in the car and hope it's there. So it fits. It's loose, so I don't know how good of an impression I'm gonna get. If I have to, I'll take this apart and stick it in a vise. But we'll see if we can make a key to it. So I got some pretty decent initial marks. Now I could barely see it, but this is what I'm saying. I like to keep the key flat because pin tumblers will put a dot or a mark or a scratch right in the center. So I got a mark on 5 and 4, and we'll keep going. So this one seems to be working pretty good. I keep getting a mark on 5 and 4, and if this was a newer car, it'd probably move less than this because the plastic got broken. But it's a 2007, it's a work truck, so it's impressioning pretty good. We'll see if it turns. Okay, so I had to move cut 4 to the right because sometimes your spacing will start in one spot and then the pin kind of moves over a little bit, so I had to move the cut 4 over, but I got a turning key now, and you only get marks on one side. And then to copy the key, because sometimes it's just easier with your file, is you just make a mark straight, okay, straight, and then another line straight, and then you can file straight down. So now we're on the door, and the wards are different, so it's the opposite of the H50, which was what the book said. Now an H51 fits. His ignition key doesn't quite fit, but I don't want to lose my marks on the ignition key. So plus I already cut the other side, so it works both sides. So now I'm gonna start back over and just try to do a door key. So I actually got a pretty good mark. I want to say 1 and 2, and then I got 2 faint marks on 5 and 4. 3, I haven't really got anything. Not enough, even enough to make my space like relevant. So customer probably is right that the same ignition key is the same as the door key, because really I got marks, I got space marks in all of them, so I immediately mark my spaces, and then I'm getting a better mark in 1 and 2, 1 being a little bit more now. So we'll keep going and get a working key. So there's 1. It's hard to focus. See that little dot in 1? That's what you file, okay? That is a good mark. So this would be a damn good one to practice on. But you got to be careful with that ignition because it's held in with plastic and it's loose. But this door is pretty solid, so definitely don't have to take that out. Alright, so I finally got a mark on 3 to make this space relevant. Okay, and then now I'm getting marks on 4 and 5. So if I was gonna do this car again, I want to say that I will start at the door because it's nice and solid. And I don't know, Michael Hyde doesn't really have anything in the book about semis or Peterbilts or anything like that, so we'll keep going. So I am definitely starting on the door next time. So there's my key, and it'll turn, but it's tight. Okay, so don't force it, don't over crank it. These keys are strong, but you don't want to over crank it and then fuck up your really hard earned fucking work. Okay, so now you see those big gash marks? That's the pin trying to force itself into the plug, and it has to go somewhere, so it pushes that metal down. But yeah, I would definitely start, because this looks like my ignition key. So I want to say cuts 2 and 3 or 1s, or pretty damn near close to it. I want to say cut 1 is probably a 2 or a 3, and then cut 4 is probably either a 4, and then 5 would be a 5. Okay, with the impressioning, it's easier when you got like OEM stuff, like, you know, for guaranteed that it's the pin is the size. But when you do like mortar cylinders, some people pin it up wrong, and a lick of the file will either turn the key or not, especially on a Schlag. But this one, I just filed those 2 big gouges right there, and now the key turns, but it's still a little sticky. So now I'll probably do another file and then call it good. So I tried to cut this thing by code, and the code in both cases, I think my machine just got shut off. Yeah, it did. Oh, I gotta organize my thing. Anyway, so I went to Sterling, and then I was clicking through all their models. I finally found one that says all other models except cargo trucks, and they had a 5-cut thing, but the code series and the key blank was different, but the cuts came out to 31134. And then I went to Ford and I did their H51 and I decoded it that way, and that one said 31134. So they are essentially pretty close, but you see those 2 big gouges? They both cut the key like that, and I still had to file that away, so it's a little tight, and I don't know why, but those two little marks will get filed away. This guy got 3 keys. It was a learning experience. Yeah, I like impressioning.